You ever have one of those moments where the world feels too quiet? Like it's holding its breath, waiting for something to happen. That's what it felt like when I got on that bloody plane. I've been on a million flights in my life. Tours, interviews, hospitals, rehab, you name it. But that one was different. Couldn't tell you why at first. Just different. The kind of different that crawls up your spine and doesn't let go. I remember it clear as day. Early morning, somewhere over Europe, fog hanging low outside the airport windows. I had my hoodie pulled up, sunglasses on, trying to disappear. No makeup, no noise, no Prince of Darkness rubbish. Just me, tired, half alive from a sleepless night. Sharon had kissed me goodbye, told me to rest, but sleep's never been my friend. Not in years. I sat down in 14B aisle seat, the middle one next to the window still empty. Good. I needed quiet. I had my headphones in, pretending to listen to something, though nothing was playing. I just didn't want anyone talking to me. People either whisper or stare. Sometimes they cry. Sometimes they ask me to sign napkins. I love my fans, I really do, but that morning, I just wanted to vanish. Then he showed up. The kid in seat 14C couldn't have been more than 11, maybe 12. Skinny lad, messy blonde hair sticking up like he'd fought a windstorm. He had a backpack that looked heavier than he was, dragging it up the aisle like it might swallow him whole. When he sat down beside me, I caught him looking. That wide-eyed, half-afraid, half-curious look kids get when they recognize someone famous but can't believe it's really them. "You're Ozzy Osbourne," he said quietly, like he was telling me a secret. I smiled, or tried to. "Yeah, mate, last time I checked." He nodded but didn't smile back. Just stared out the window for a long time. I figured that was that. But then I noticed his eyes were red. Not the tired kind, the crying kind. Kid was trying to hide it, wiping his face every few seconds, pretending to be interested in the clouds. I felt something twist in my gut. I've seen pain. Hell, I've lived in it. And I know what it looks like. "You all right, kid?" I asked. He didn't answer. Just shrugged, eyes on the sky. "Bad day?" He sniffed, nodded once. "Yeah," he whispered. "The worst." That hit harder than I expected. I didn't press him right away. I'm not good with words, never have been, but silence sometimes does the talking. We sat like that for a while, engines humming, people finding their seats. Then he spoke again, voice small but steady. "My mom says it's okay to cry on planes," he said, "'cause no one really looks at you here. Everyone's got their own place to go." I swallowed hard. "She sounds like a smart woman." He nodded again. Then he said, "She's not coming back." I froze. Didn't know what to say. Didn't know if I should. But his words came out like a dam breaking. His mom had passed away 2 weeks ago. Cancer, quick and cruel. He was flying to live with his dad in another city, a man he barely knew. He told me all this between quiet sobs, staring out the window like the clouds might have answers, and there I was, the rock star, the madman, the devil on stage, sitting next to a broken kid with the kind of pain you can't fix with fame or money or noise. I wanted to say something meaningful, something that'd matter, but what came out was simple. "I lost people too, lad," I said. "Doesn't stop hurting, but you learn to carry it." He looked up at me, eyes wide. "You did?" "Yeah," I said. "My best mate, Randy, he was like a brother, died in a plane crash, right when we were on top of the world. 1 minute he's there, next minute, gone. You never really get over that. You just keep playing." The kid's eyes welled up again. "How do you keep playing when it hurts?" That one nearly broke me. I didn't have an answer ready. I just looked at him. This little soul trying to understand loss, and all I could say was, "Because if you stop, the silence will eat you alive." He nodded like he understood. Then he reached into his backpack and pulled out something, a crumpled paper, torn on one edge. It was a drawing, a little sketch of a guitar with a stick figure holding it. "My mom used to draw," he said. "She told me to give this to someone who still hears music even when it's quiet." He handed it to me. Just like that. I looked at the paper, at the rough pencil lines, and my throat closed up. I wanted to tell him I didn't deserve it, that I'd been drowning in my own noise for years. But he just smiled for the first time, a small, trembling thing, and turned back to the window. When the plane took off, I closed my eyes and tried to breathe. Every vibration, every hum of the engine felt alive. I don't pray often, not properly, but I did then. Not for me, for him. For every broken kid sitting in seat 14C of their own life, holding on to scraps of music and memory. Hours passed. The kid slept most of the way, head against the window. I kept looking at the drawing in my hands. I saw Randy's face in it. I saw every concert, every night I almost didn't get through. And somewhere between the clouds and the dark, I realized I hadn't really listened to music for myself in years. It had always been for the crowd, the cameras, the legend, but not for me. Not for the part of me that still hurt. When we landed, the kid woke up and smiled shyly. "Thanks, Mr. Ozzy." "For what?" I asked. "For not making me feel weird," he said. "Most grown-ups do," I laughed softly. "You're not weird, mate. You're just alive, and sometimes that's the hardest thing to be." He grinned then, really grinned. And for a second I saw something in his eyes. Hope, maybe. The kind I'd forgotten existed. We stood up, people shoving their bags, phones buzzing. He looked nervous again, clutching his backpack. I bent down a little so he could hear me over the chaos. "Listen," I said, "whenever life gets loud, and it will, just remember what your mom said. Cry if you have to, then listen for the music. It'll find you," he nodded.
"Will I see you again?"
I smiled, though something in me knew the answer. "Maybe, kid. Planes are funny that way," and that was it. We walked off in separate directions. I watched him go, swallowed by the crowd, and felt something shift inside me. It wasn't sadness. It wasn't relief. It was peace, maybe. The quiet kind I hadn't felt since before fame found me. Later that night, back at the hotel, I pulled out the drawing, smoothed the edges. It looked small in my hand, fragile. I found a pen and wrote on the back, "For the boy in seat 14C, keep hearing the music." I didn't know why I wrote it. Maybe because I needed to believe it too. Then I set it on the bedside table, turned off the lights, and for the first time in a long time, I slept. Really slept. No nightmares, no noise, just the hum of the plane still echoing somewhere in the back of my mind, carrying a little boy and a broken man through the clouds, both trying to find their way home. You'd think after all these years I'd have learned to leave ghosts where they belong, but the truth is some ghosts don't stay buried. They hum, they whisper, they crawl out of speakers when the studio's gone quiet. That's what was happening the night I came back from that flight, the one with the kid in seat 14C. I'd barely dropped my bag before I went straight to the basement studio. Couldn't sleep. The city outside was half asleep itself. LA at 3 in the morning, all sodium lights and sirens in the distance. I sat in front of my console, guitars hanging on the wall like old friends who'd stopped talking to me. And on the desk, right beside a stack of scribbled lyrics, was that bloody drawing the kid had given me. The little guitar, the stick figure. For the man who still hears the music when it's quiet. I stared at it so long my coffee went cold. There was something about the pencil lines. They reminded me of a flyer from years ago, 1979, back when everything smelled like beer and smoke and the road never ended. A tour that shouldn't have existed, except part of me swore it did. But when I checked the old records, there was no mention of a Chicago gig that year. Still, the memory tugged at me. I could see flashes, rain on a parking lot, a tiny venue, lights too bright for the room. My head pounding, my voice half gone. And a kid, older than seat 14C's lad, but with the same look in his eyes. Concern, hope, something that felt familiar. I told myself it was exhaustion, jet lag, age. But then I saw it, an old box shoved under the mixing desk, covered in dust. I dragged it out, coughing. Tour memorabilia, tapes, photos, random junk I'd forgotten existed. Among the pile, a cassette in cracked plastic, label half peeled. On it, in my handwriting, 1979, draft. I froze. I hadn't used that handwriting since the 80s. I set the tape in the deck, pressed play. Static first, thick, warm, like breathing through a storm. Then a guitar line, simple and broken, my old Les Paul tone. And then my voice, younger, rawer. You'll meet yourself again someday, on a plane you never took. You'll sing a song you never wrote, to a boy who never shook. I stopped it. My heart was hammering. Those weren't lyrics I knew, weren't on any record, weren't even written down anywhere. For a long time, I just sat there. The studio light buzzed above me, a mosquito's hum. I tried to laugh it off, muttered, "Maybe you finally lost it, Ozzy." But deep down, I knew better. I called up Tony, my old sound engineer from back in the day. It took 3 tries before he picked up, grumpy as ever. "Mate," I said, You remember any session in '79 labeled draft? There was silence, then a low whistle. Christ, Oz, you're digging into the dark cupboard tonight. So you do remember? He sighed, vaguely. You were sick that week, fever, delirium, talking about deja vu, about some kid you'd met in the future. We thought you were tripping or something. You insisted on recording a song for him. I kept the reel running because I didn't want to spook you. I rubbed my temples. What did I say exactly? He paused. You kept saying he's real. He helped me. I owe him a promise. Then you sang that song. I laughed, but it came out wrong. Half choke, half sob. Tony, that's mad. Yeah, he said softly. But so were most of the miracles we survived, eh? After we hung up, I couldn't shake the chill. The room felt smaller, like the air itself was listening. I dug deeper into the box, looking for proof I wasn't losing my bloody mind. And there it was, a Polaroid. Faded, yellowed, edges curled. Me, 1979, hair wild, shirt open, grin that didn't quite reach the eyes. And next to me, half cut off by the frame, a boy. Not a blur, not a fan in the crowd. A boy standing close, holding a guitar pick like it was treasure. On the back, in ink so faded I had to hold it under the lamp. For the kid who saved me. Keep the promise. Oh, I dropped the photo like it burned. My hands were shaking. I didn't remember writing that. I didn't remember the night. But the handwriting, mine, no doubt. The O was unmistakable, that loop I used to draw before the years made me rush. I poured a drink, then poured it down the sink instead. Whatever this was, it wasn't something whiskey could drown. I stayed in the studio till dawn, flipping between the photo and the tape. The more I stared, the more the kid's face looked like the one from the plane. Older, sure, but same eyes. Same sadness, same quiet strength. At some point, exhaustion took me. I must have nodded off in the chair, the cassette still spinning, whispering static like the sea. When I opened my eyes, I wasn't in LA anymore. I was back there, 1979. I could smell sweat and cigarettes, feel the hum of amps under my boots. The venue lights flickered red and gold. My heart slammed in my chest, but my body moved like it remembered the way. I stumbled backstage, younger faces all around me, crew, bandmates, laughing, shouting. No one noticed me standing there like a ghost. Then I saw him, the boy. He was kneeling beside a crate, packing up cables, hair damp with rain. When he looked up, I felt the air crackle. You came back, he said. His voice was older than his face. Told you you'd find me someday. My throat closed. Who are you? He smiled, a small, sad smile. Just a fan who heard you when no one else did. I wanted to move, to ask more, but the sound around us began to fade, like a record spinning backward. The lights dimmed until only the two of us were there. He stepped closer, pressed something into my hand, a guitar pick, the same one from the photo. You promised me you'd keep playing. Even when it hurt, the world warped. My vision blurred, I whispered, Kid, are you from that plane? He grinned wider now, eyes glinting like dawn over storm clouds. Maybe. Maybe I'm just the echo you left behind. Then the sound of an engine filled the air, roaring like a jet above us. Everything turned white. When I woke up, I was back in the studio chair, sweat on my neck, guitar across my lap. The tape deck had stopped, reels clicking softly. Sunlight bled through the blinds, dust spinning in it like tiny ghosts. I sat up, disoriented. On the desk, the Polaroid lay face down. I turned it over. My heart nearly stopped. The photo had changed. Now both of us were clear in the frame, me and the boy, smiling side by side. No blur, no missing half. The ink on the back looked fresh, and next to my old note, a new line had appeared, faint but legible. Thanks, mate. You kept your promise, I laughed then. Real laughter, shaky but alive. It echoed off the studio walls like music. Maybe I'd finally lost it, or maybe the universe had just kept its word. I reached for my guitar, fingers trembling, and started playing the riff from that tape. The same melody I'd never written, never remembered, until now. The chords felt natural, like they'd been waiting under my skin for decades. I sang, softly at first, then louder. You'll meet yourself again someday, on a plane you never took. You'll sing a song you never wrote to a boy who never shook. The words poured out of me, each one a heartbeat. And somewhere between verse and chorus, I swear I heard another voice, faint, warm, harmonizing. His voice, When the last note faded, the silence didn't feel empty. It felt whole. I leaned back, eyes closed, tears sliding down. The cassette deck clicked again, playback ending itself. But just before it stopped completely, through the hiss and hum, a whisper came. Guess some gigs never end. I didn't flinch, just smiled. No, kid, I whispered back. They bloody don't. Outside, the first sunlight hit the Hollywood hills, painting them gold. I opened the studio window. The air smelled of dust and new beginnings. Somewhere, a plane crossed the sky, engines humming that same key my song ended on. I picked up the Polaroid one last time, traced the edges and set it beside the drawing from seat 14C. 2 pieces of paper, decades apart, now telling the same story. Maybe time doesn't move straight. Maybe it loops, bends, plays the same tune till we finally hear it right. I smiled, turned on the mic, and hit record. This one's for the boy in 14C, I said, the one who reminded me why the music never dies. And then I played. For once, not for fame. Not for the legend, for the promise.